Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking the fascinating and, let's be honest, kind of alarming biology behind our modern stress. But listen, we aren't just going to sit around and admire the problem. No way. We're going to discover highly actionable, proven frameworks to actually reclaim your peace of mind. So if you've been feeling exhausted or just totally stuck in a mental rut lately, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's get right into it.
Okay, picture this scenario because I bet it sounds familiar. You wake up already feeling tired, right? You push through a crazy busy day fueled by nothing but caffeine and sheer willpower. And then late at night, when you finally have a minute to yourself, what do? You find yourself endlessly doom scrolling through negative news or dramatic social feeds. And you tell yourself, hey, I'm just unwinding, I'm just relaxing. But are you? Well, the research actually suggests otherwise. And that right there perfectly highlights a crucial difference we've got to establish right off the bat. Genuine self-care, it actually replenishes your battery. It restores your baseline. But on the flip side, what most of us are actually doing late at night is self-distraction and avoidance. Mindless scrolling doesn't recharge you at all. It completely drains you. It leaves you anxious, wired, and just staring at the ceiling at 1 a.m. Recognizing that difference, that is step one in taking back control of your mental bandwidth. So, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The chronic worry trap. 2. Your body on stress. 3. Doom scrolling versus self-care. 4. Building foundational mental habits. And 5. Problem solving your well-being. All right, jumping into section 1, the chronic worry trap and the illusion of problem solving. This is a cycle that feels incredibly productive to our brains, but actually keeps us entirely stuck. The crazy thing is, chronic worrying isn't actually preparing you for danger. We all kind of have this mindset that if we just think hard enough about a problem, we can magically prevent bad things from happening. But researchers point out that worry is literally an emotional avoidance tactic. It keeps your mind so insanely busy running through worst-case scenarios that it actively prevents you from feeling deeper, more complex emotions like sadness or fear. This mental loop drains your cognitive clarity, slows down your reaction times, and entirely blocks you from taking real, concrete action. Moving on to section 2, your body on stress and the physical toll of a racing mind. Because as you're going to see, this anxiety absolutely does not just stay in your head. Take a look at this clinical term, perseverative cognition. Basically, it means your body's fight or flight switch gets jammed completely in the on position, long after any actual threat has passed. See, your body literally cannot tell the difference between a real physical emergency happening right in front of you, like say a saber-toothed tiger attack, and an imagined emergency you're just stressing about while lying in bed. To your nervous system, they're the exact same thing, keeping you in this constant, exhausting overdrive. And the consequences of living in that constant overdrive, they are honestly staggering. Studies show that chronic worriers face an unbelievable 77% higher risk of cardiovascular death. 77%! Why? Because your heart is being forced to work entirely too hard for way too long. Your blood pressure stays elevated, your heart rate variability plummets, and your whole system just gets flooded with cortisol. Over time, that stress literally becomes toxic to your cardiovascular system. But wow, it is not just your heart. Constant anxiety actively suppresses your entire immune defense system. When your body thinks it's preparing for immediate danger, it completely redirects resources away from long-term healing. The result? You produce fewer natural killer cells, which are absolutely vital for fighting off infections, you heal from wounds slower, recovering from chronic conditions takes way longer, and your systemic inflammation just skyrockets. So your emotional tension is literally transforming into undeniable physical vulnerability. Which brings us to section 3, doom scrolling versus self-care and navigating the digital vortex. All of this severe physiological strain is exactly why we need to aggressively reevaluate our modern digital habits. And it's really vital to understand the dynamic playing out here. You aren't doom scrolling because you're weak or because you lack willpower. Not at all. Your survival-wired brain is simply looking for threats to feel safe, but it is colliding head-on with social media algorithms that are explicitly engineered to feed you endless panic. It is essentially like bringing a spear to a laser fight. It's a completely unfair match between your ancient biology and modern technology designed to entirely hijack your attention. So to stop this quiet sabotage, you've got to set intentional boundaries. Look, it's not about throwing your phone into a lake. It's about taking back control. Try declaring your bedroom a completely screen-free zone. That instantly protects your emotional regulation and your sleep cycle. Or time box your scrolling. Set a 20-minute timer, and the second it goes off, you're done. Curate your feed aggressively too. If an account makes you feel anxious, just mute it. Protecting your peace of mind isn't rude, it is a biological necessity. And maybe most importantly, replace that scrolling habit with an analog one. Read a physical book, do a puzzle, do something to actually wind down your nervous system.
All right, moving into section 4, building foundational mental habits and establishing your biological baseline. Now that we've talked about stopping the constant psychological drain, we have to talk about rebuilding your foundation. There is a direct cause and effect between our daily actions and our mental state. Simple, consistent actions are just incredibly powerful. Just 30 minutes of aerobic activity a day actively reduces cortisol and promotes neuroplasticity. Keeping a consistent sleep schedule, yeah, even on the weekends, restores your ability to regulate emotions. And eating whole foods and omega-3s, that gives your gut the literal raw materials it needs to produce vital neurotransmitters. These are not just trendy wellness tips. They are non-negotiable biological requirements to wire your brain for resilience. And this is exactly why you cannot simply outthink a lack of sleep or a garbage diet. If your brain is physically exhausted or malnourished, your mental health is going to suffer, period. It doesn't matter how many positive affirmations you say in the mirror, your brain strictly requires these physical foundational inputs to manage the heavy mental stress of the modern world. You absolutely have to establish that physical baseline first.
And that brings us to our final stop, Section 5. Problem-solving your well-being and taking structured, actionable steps.
Let's look at how we can actively tackle our mental well-being using proven frameworks. Now, if you work in a corporate environment, you probably recognize a 7-step process like this. But what happens if we take this rigorous problem-solving lens and apply it to our own mental health? Instead of just vaguely worrying about how stressed you are, treat it like a project. Identify the specific habit causing the problem. Let's say it's late-night scrolling. Analyze exactly why it's happening, brainstorm some solutions, pick one to actually implement, and then evaluate if it worked. This kind of structure moves you entirely away from that passive anxiety trap and puts you directly in the driver's seat of concrete, measurable action. I really want you to absorb this concept of the 15% solution. When we feel overwhelmed, we so often fall into the trap of thinking we need to overhaul our entire lives to feel better. But honestly, that just causes way more stress. Shifting even a tiny fraction of your habits, just 15%, can create massive, undeniable momentum. You don't need to fix the whole shebang all at once. You just need to focus on the small things that are entirely within your immediate control. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought today. Ask yourself honestly, instead of just staring at a screen tonight, what is one small, immediate 15% change you will make today to actively protect your brain? Maybe it's leaving your phone in the kitchen overnight. Maybe it's just taking a 10-minute walk after dinner. Whatever it is, pick it, commit to it, and start reclaiming your peace of mind tonight. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.